Welcome to Cause Method, where we create opportunities in shitty situations. We are now doing episode 1, where I'm going to break down the two types of growth. We have bad growth and we have good growth. Yes, there is such thing as people who go through growth negatively and people who go through growth positively. Now, before you get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment on this video. Well, you can comment and like afterwards, but just subscribe anyway, okay? Let's get started. We are going to discuss the type of traits people that go through good growth end up having and people that go through bad growth end up having. So the first one is for good growth is these people are humbled, they become selfless, and they understand that they have a duty to serve others. Now, the traits of the person that goes through bad growth. They become self-righteous, entitled, and develop a superiority complex. What might have initially been with good intentions to go through growth, it just ends up turning negative along the way. Let's cover good growth first. So when you are going through good growth, you are facing challenges, you're learning from them, you're adapting, you're evolving even when things get tough, and you use failures as stepping stones and not excuses. A person that goes through good growth understands that they cannot take everyone on their journey with them. And that's not to say that they just start cutting everybody off. They understand, they start limiting their access, which is very different. So the only time you should actually consider cutting somebody completely off is if there is nothing that they can do for you and there's nothing you can do for them. Let's say you stop drinking, you stop smoking, and you decided to take better care of your health. You have a friend who drinks, smokes, and doesn't work out. This friend doesn't really serve you in other ways. Let's say they barely listen to you anyway, barely listen to your stories, are able to give you feedback or able to give you advice. If only their traits brought you together that they have that you're trying to change, then you should definitely cut this person off. This person doesn't serve you and you can't serve that person because that's just a lifestyle that they want to live. Now, let's say you have that same friend and you decided to stop smoking, drinking, and work out. You spoke with this friend and you told this friend, this is a journey that you're going on. And maybe just so happens that you may have triggered something in their brain and they decided, you know what? Let me join you. Now you guys are both on the same journey. And that is where you have become selfless. That is where you have decided to serve another person. The person that goes through bad growth will take the same person who is smoking, drinking, and working out and will just cut them off without a reason. They have their own reason, but they didn't even allow the chance to give this person. Maybe they want to change and they didn't know where to start. So a lot of the time, the person that goes through the bad growth will think they're the only one that wants to change. Nobody wants to join them on their journey, not understanding that going on your journey also requires some form of being selfless. You can explain your situation to someone you deeply care about, and you never know if you are going to motivate them. Again, we're reverting back to the service of duty. Now, for the people that go through good growth, when they understand that things are getting tough and still push through them, that means they're not allowing their emotions to get the best of them. So that requires some type of emotional intelligence. Versus the person that goes through bad growth, their growth is very reactive. It's not intentional and it's honestly driven by external pressure. For example, you have a person that's going through bad growth. The only reason they want to change and elevate their lifestyle is so other people can look at them. And once they feel this level of validation, that's where the superiority complex starts to develop. Now they feel like people should bow down to them because they've gone through all this transformation and they have the lifestyle that they want. But they're really only tapping into that type of particular lifestyle is because they want the validation from outsiders. People who go through good growth understand that you do not need external validation from anyone. While external validation can be inspiring, moving, and motivating, let's say you reach your weight loss goal and the people around you are cheering you on and they're like, you look amazing, you did such a great job, I wish I could be as disciplined as you are. That helps us to keep growing. Now, the negative person, if you compliment them and say, wow, you've reached this level of fitness, like I wish I could reach it, and they'll be like, yeah, man, it takes hard work. Not everybody can do that. Are you catching on now? So the people that go through bad growth, they also sometimes only change because they have no other choice. Let's say they want a certain type of partner. They will hide themselves. They will suppress who they really are and start to change themselves so they can be with that certain partner. That is not good growth. So good growth should always stem from wanting to change because you want to, not because anyone else wants you to change. The moment you change for someone else, you are entering bad growth. And when that happens, you are developing future resentment towards that person. Whether this be in a relationship, whether this be with friends, with your family members, whatever it is, you want to avoid changing for other people and for your environment. Now, people who go through bad growth also grow out of pain, not purpose, and is often short-lived. Let's say someone goes through a near-life death experience and the next following weeks they start being nice and kind to everyone. And once they start feeling comfortable in their skin, they start to revert to being that person that they were before they had that near-life death experience. So that experience never really changed them. They just changed how they felt. So we cannot allow emotions to dictate how we are going to show up in our everyday lives. So if you're feeling shitty, that doesn't give you an excuse to go out into the world and be a shitty person to everyone around you. But the person who goes through bad growth feels so entitled to their emotions and everything is how they made them feel. This person feels like they pour more into people's cups. This person, everything is me, not realizing that the missing key is developing emotional intelligence. And when you develop emotional intelligence, you realize the world does not revolve around you. And you also cannot take things personally. I will give you a perfect example of how I experienced someone who was going through bad growth in my personal life. I was very good friends with someone for many years, and they wanted to become a high value person. And they started with their fitness journey. They started to eat better. They started to watch a lot of podcasts on growth. And this person already struggled being authentic within themselves. So when you have so many good growth podcasts just constantly talking to you through the screen and telling you, hey, you can do this, just cut them off, people that don't serve you, this and that, and blah, blah. That's all good and great. And while those are valid things to say, not everyone's going to register it correctly. Sometimes that type of talk can register into a person that's going to go through bad growth and start to treat people like shit around them because they think now they have all this knowledge and they want to have the certain type of lifestyle. They're just going to go and cut off good people in their life, or they're going to disrespect the good people in their life. This person would constantly just randomly cut people off and just say they should know. When in reality, when you are going through growth, especially when you're going through good growth, and remember, developing that emotional intelligence, you start to realize not everyone has this mindset. Not everyone is self-aware. Not everyone understands that they're doing something bad. Yes, we have a natural human instinct to know when something's not okay, but sometimes there are actual people who are very unaware of it. And truth be told, it is not their fault, which is why you do have a lot of self-help authors, why you have a lot of motivational speakers to be able to reach to those people who can possibly go their whole entire lives not changing because no one told them to. So we go back to that selfless part. We go back to your duty to serve others is you do not know if someone is unaware of a certain behavior that they have been doing. I'll give you a perfect example of my behavior that I stopped. A lot of people would give me feedback telling me I was too direct. While I thought in my head, what is the problem? I'm a very direct person. You should be happy that I'm a very direct person. But if more than two people are telling you you are too direct and it comes off bitchy, it's time to change it. So I decided to look at myself inwardly and say, what am I doing that is making people feel this way? I don't want anyone to feel like I'm coming across as a total bitch off to them. Now, I didn't need anyone to hold my hand and tell me, you need to look inward. I'm a natural motivator, so granted, I can look inside and I'm a very self-aware person. But if I decided, you know what, you guys are all the problem and not me, no, I have a duty to serve others. And that duty means if I'm making more than one person feel harsh, then I have to change it. Because when you go through good growth, you understand it's not about you. Even when you go through confidence, it's not about you. Your confidence obviously comes from you, your growth comes from you, but you develop all these things so you can thrive in a community. And when you are going through good growth, you will start to slowly realize that it's not just about you, but the person that goes through bad growth thinks me. And that's all I have for today on good growth and bad growth. I will definitely dissect more throughout episodes. My thing is, I'm just trying to get started. I'm trying to get my voice out there. I know there are so many people who need to hear a voice like mine. Maybe some people will just skip through my video. I don't care because I know that there's a few of you out there who need to hear things like this. And sometimes you can be unaware of what it is that you're feeling, but you just need to put words to it. And that's what I'm here for. So if you see someone who's going through growth and it just doesn't feel right, 9 times out of 10, it's because it's not right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you like, subscribe, comment, do something. And I'll see you for the next episode. The next episode, I'm going to talk about confidence. A few tips to start building your confidence.